in with
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today.
For the Yankees.
I want to be a part of it.
Now you got to make that. You just shut my the bottom one, Phil, all the way to the top. There you go.
Well, who are you going to play? St. Louis? They can't score a run, St. Louis.
I know. Not against that pitching staff. Oh, Phil Fogila having a very tough time.
I tell you, it ain't easy, you know. New York, New York.
Sing it, Bern.
Hey, joining us in studio right now is president of the Italian Defense League. His name is Philip Foglia. And his good friend, and I mean great friend and great guy, great actor, and a great example of being Italian, a great exemplar of the Italian spirit, is Chazz Palminteri, author of The Bronx Tale, actor and a playwright, et cetera, et cetera. But welcome to you, gentlemen, on this Happy Columbus Day.
Happy Columbus Day.
Great to be here.
And I say Columbus Day.
Not Indigenous people.
That's right.
No, it's not Indigenous Peoples Day.
Are you mad at my son? You're going to call Gabe? You're going to tell him?
I love your son. Your son's the best. Come on. First of all, your son's going to run this country someday. How smart is that kid?
He's brilliant, but he's being brainwashed, sadly. I mean, what they're doing to these kids in school is...
the Upper West Side is rough. Bernie's right. They do. They teach them these terrible, terrible things.
They don't teach them 9/11. They don't teach them D-Day.
They don't teach 9/11?
No.
And they tell them it's Indigenous Peoples Day, not Columbus Day. I mean, they actually bust out, flat out, teach them that.
Now, my son actually went to his teachers and said we should do something, even a moment of silence on 9/11. So he bucked the trend there, right. But he's completely bought into Indigenous People Day. He says, and his quote to me was, and he met you with Dante that night, you remember, and he loves you. Said, I love Chazz Palminteri, but just because he's a great actor and he's very wealthy, I don't know where he got that from. Just because he's a great actor and he's very wealthy doesn't mean he knows everything. That's what Gabe said.
He's a very bright kid. I told you that. As soon as I met him, I said, forget about it.
I love Chazz. He's not going to argue with a 10-year-old boy.
But I got to tell you, look, we talked about it. How could you judge what Columbus did in today's standards? I don't want to repeat what you guys were saying, but it's just insane. You know, seriously, what Columbus did, okay, we should all celebrate it. He discovered America. Whether he got here first or whether he landed in the Bahamas, he discovered America. But here's what it comes down to. How did Columbus Day happen? How did that start? Does anybody know? We know how it started.
I do, actually.
Yes.
You're talking about the lynching?
The lynching, that's right. And we felt, the United States, we felt so bad after we lynched 11 Italian Americans in New Orleans for a crime they did not commit.
No, they were acquitted.
They were acquitted.
And that buffoon, Theodore Roosevelt, actually said, I'm glad they were lynched.
He said it actually was a good thing.
Yeah.
It was a good thing. And the president at the time, what was the president, Phil, at the time?
It was Theodore
Harrison. No, Harrison was the president.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, right.
That's right.
Roosevelt was the future president.
That's right. Harrison said, it's fine. It was a good thing. I mean, between Italy and America, there was going to be a war. That's why this happened, Sid.
Yes, I do know that too. But I would ask you this, Phil.
Yes.
There's a huge rise in anti-Semitism.
Yes.
And as a Jewish man, I'm certainly aware of that. Even though I want to be Italian, I'm not Italian. You guys are. There seems to be, at least on the periphery, this may be just my perspective, it may not be true, also a huge increase in Italian hate going on, not just in this country, but around the world. Is that right? Is it on a rise?
It is on the rise. And I'm sure you saw yesterday in the Daily News, the police reports that hate crimes against the Jewish people have skyrocketed this year. There's been 170 reports of hate crimes against the Jewish Americans, which is just an outrage. And
they're downplaying it, by the way. I mean, it's because it doesn't fit their narrative. Not to get too political here, but they're actually ignoring it. They're not playing it up as they should if it were, say, guys in red MAGA hats or whatever. It doesn't matter who it is. If there's an attack against Jewish people because they're Jewish, you should highlight it and go after the perps.
Without a doubt. And it's sort of the unspoken crimes that are occurring against people because it doesn't fit a particular narrative of political correctness necessarily.
No, so give us an idea of what's going on in your life. The great Chazz Palminteri, not just a great actor, writer, producer, director, the movie, the Broadway show, the one-man show, but also a great restaurateur. It's my favorite Italian restaurant, not just in New York City, but in the world. And I mean that. I'm not just saying that to you. What are you doing on this day where you decide all of a sudden you're listening to some show, then you're going to call in and, I guess, defend yourself? What were you doing? How'd you know the mayor was on? Tell us how. Set up the whole day.
Okay, well, some people called me. They said, listen, would you like to call the mayor and blindside him a little bit?
Did you know the mayor was on?
Yes.
You knew he was on?
They said, I said, look, is he going to take my call? And they said, look, we're going to try. We'll try to get you on. I said, all right. Sure than hell. They call me up. They go, look, you can get in on the mayor. I said, great. I said, I'd like to speak to him. Boom. I call up, right? And he was very upset. He asked me, he said, did you call my wife a racist? I said, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I didn't want to say.
Sid did.
I said, I didn't want to mention Bernie. I said, because I don't throw people under the bus. That's me. But I said, I was on a talk show, and they asked me, is this racism? And I said, it sure looks like it. So I guess I did. Yes, I said, yes, I did. So now thinking about it, I thought about it. I apologized to his wife, the first lady. I said, okay, I don't know what's inside her heart. Maybe I was really upset. I was mad. I was really upset. So then I thought about it. Okay, it's not racism. I'll give her that. I was wrong to call her a racist. But what is it then? I just wanted an explanation. If it's not racism, okay. But then what was it? How could a person who got double the amount of votes, you just cast aside Mother Cabrini? That's all I want to know. Explain it to me. Phil, do you have an answer? What do you think it is?
Listen, I will say. Yeah. Go ahead, Phil.
Well, I think there's an implicit bias against Catholics and Italians in that decision. When you look at it, the whole process of she built New York, who would fit that definition better than Mother Cabrini? I mean, she built orphanages, she built hospitals, she built schools, and the other women are undoubtedly deserving. But no one comes close to achieving what Mother Cabrini did.
And the fact is that the other women that she selected were women of color.
Yes.
Mother Cabrini happens to be a Caucasian. And if it was Giuliani and his wife, and if let's say Shirley Chisholm won the vote, a black lady, and Mrs. Giuliani said, no, we're not going to pick Shirley Chisholm. We're going to pick 7 white ladies instead. They would accuse her of racism. They wouldn't even say implicit bias. They'd say racism. And that's what you have to factor. Now, nobody knows, as Chazz says, what was in her heart.
No.
But, I mean, you can't connect dots and infer things.
Well, Jane Jacobs came in second, and she was excluded also. Bella Abzug was in the top 10, and she was excluded.
Really? Well, she should be excluded.
but you just wonder how that decision was made.
Right. So all I'm asking for, and the mayor says, all you had to do was pick up the phone and call me. Well, we sent a letter. I
asked for a meeting.
We asked for a meeting. We didn't get a meeting. We sent a letter, and we got like a form letter. And 2 other people sent letters, and they got the same letter. So all 3 of us got the same form letter. Now the mayor says, well, she'll come in on the second round. We're going to talk about it.
There's not going to be a second round.
But there was never a second round.
Right.
He's only saying there's a second round because we put up such a stink about this. So again, I do apologize to the First Lady. And I was wrong because I was very emotional. But all I'm asking for is an explanation.
That's fair. And I would ask you this. You're no fan of the mayor. You can't stand him. Once again, I'm putting words in your mouth.
You're putting words in my mouth.
You are.
Sid.
No. Hold on.
Sid, you're putting words in my mouth. Stop doing that.
I would never do that.
The fact is, he did try to take down a Columbus statue in Columbus Circle. Right. We don't like that.
We don't like that.
No, I was wrong.
But do you feel any better about the mayor now that you had this conversation with him? Now you spoke to the mayor.
Yes, I do feel better.
So now you feel good about it. So now you think he's a great mayor.
Sid, stop it, Sid.
Okay, Sid. I'll tell you what.
Will you stop it, Sid?
Chazz Palminteri.
You got me once. You're not going to get me again.
You know what Chazz is wearing right now on his head? An NYPD hat.
That's right.
That's where he's coming from.
That's right. I'm very happy. Listen, again, I want to say that this past last Thursday, I received the Stephen McDonald, right, Phil?
You got that?
From the DEA.
From the DEA, the Stephen McDonald Award, a great police officer.
Was that in Howard Beach?
Yes, at Russo's on the Bay.
Russo's on the Bay. I received the award. I was with Congressman Peter King, who received an award for being,
humanitarian.
Mr. Peter King got that, and I got the Steve McDonald Award. I'm very proud of that. And I support, everybody knows how I support the NYPD.
Yes.
Well, Chazz, you haven't mentioned the irony that before this whole thing with Mother Cabrini occurred, his wife and his daughter are going to be honored by Mother Cabrini Association. Is that right?
Before this ever happened.
Yeah.
Is that right?
And, I didn't want to say that because it sounds like, come on.
Right.
But before this ever happened, my wife said, we're being honored by Mother Cabrini. And I was like blown away by that. I said, wow, because of this? She said, no, this has been in the books for a month.
No kidding. Well, your wife, Gianna, is a wonderful lady, by the way.
But I got to tell you, I hope she gets a statue. And if she does, I'm telling you, it is because of Bernie and Sid. It's really because of you guys. You guys are the ones who started this whole ball rolling. Yep. Okay, and
I second that. I second that wholeheartedly.
Well, that's very nice of you, but also Chazz Palminteri as well. And listen, speaking of Mother Cabrini, she gets for the first time a float on the parade of the Columbus Day Parade today.
That's right, today.
Because of this very issue right here.
Right.
That's right, because of this issue. And again, I just want to, could somebody explain to me why she was taken off the list? That's all I want.
Can't. Undermining the will of the people who voted her in.
Undermining the will of the people.
Yeah.
Just give me an answer. Well, you know, she was born at a different time. I just want to hear
something.
Something.
And it is worth noting, too, that in this city we have so many great parades. And I was honored this year to be the Grand Marshal of the Israeli Day Parade. That there is no parade,
right.
not St. Patrick's Day, not the Israeli Day Parade, not the Puerto Rican Day Parade, that brings out the numbers that we're going to see today at that Columbus Day event. That says a lot about, A, the Italian community, and B, about how most of us, excluding the mayor's wife, feel about Italian Americans.
Yeah, I gave you a letter, by the way, that's in front of you. Know
yes.
that because in D.C., the D.C. City Council has voted to change from Columbus Day to Indigenous People Day, which is the ultimate irony, being in the District of Columbia, which was named after Columbus.
Sure.
And you guys, I know, are history buffs. So you know that Columbus was an American icon before he was an Italian-American icon. There are 54 towns, cities, and villages in New York named after him. We have an Ivy League school named after him. The space shuttle was named after him.
Right.
The Columbia Broadcasting System is named after him. And it's inexplicable now.
And Peter Falk, his character...
Very good.
Kind of loosely
nice
based
job, Barney.
That's right. I just want to know.
Just one more thing.
Phil, could you please tell me, how did Seattle get its name?
From Chief Seattle, who's an indigenous warrior lord.
Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, who has kind of a spotty history. But we don't want to get into any negativity.
No, because it was a different time, a different standard.
That's why it rains there every day, by the way.
I mean, we're not going to change the name of Seattle. No. So we can't.
You guys pointed out earlier, you can't judge people in the 15th century by 21st century standards.
Exactly.
It's absurd.
That's what I tell my wife about me.
Indigenous People Day is August 9th. It's an actual holiday. It's an actual holiday.
They have a day.
Yes. And November is Indigenous People Month.
How much do they want? They got a day, they got a month. What else they need? You let the Italians have
plus
one nice day.
they run the casinos.
Son of a gun.
Plus, and they want it to, and they want our day.
Yes.
This will always be Columbus Day.
Yes, sir.
And that's it.
Chazz Palminteri.
Oh, yes.
Well said. Hey, listen, man, we couldn't be more honored to have Philip Foglia, president of the Italian American Legal Defense, and also Chazz Palminteri.
Hold on. The mayor's on the phone.
Yeah, that'll be the day.
My pal?
I'm still listening, Chazz.
I'm waiting for that meeting. I would like a meeting with the mayor.
And an answer.
I'm waiting for the meeting with the mayor. So I'm saying it out loud. Everybody can hear this. I hope the mayor hears this, and the first lady. I would like a meeting with them and sit down and talk.
I love it. Chazz Palminteri, listen, have a good time at the parade today, Columbus Day Parade.
Thank you. I'll be there.
You, Philip, as well.
And I'm going to my restaurant, Chazz Palminteri's 30 West 46th Street. I will be there for lunch today.
And November 15th, you will be at the Paramount Theater.
That's right.
No, that was October 15th.
December 1st.
December 1st.
December 1st, I will be at the Paramount Theater.
And free veal parmesan for everybody today because it's Columbus Day, just so...
this guy is something else. He really is something else.
You know what? Let's kick his ass.
I'm so upset. I had 2 hours sleep. The Yankees lost. I can't. Believe me. I'm a wreck right now.
No, you're a great guy. Enjoy the day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Philip.
But thank you, Bernie and Sid. You guys have been great.
Thank you very much. We're coming right back.